What if I told you that behind every successful project launch, workshop, website, or event, there is not just luck but structure? When you see a project completed on time, within budget, and without chaos, it's not magic. It's planning and execution working together. Project planning and scheduling are not about writing tasks on paper. They are about clarity. They define where we are going, what needs to be delivered, who will do the work, how resources will be used, and when everything must be completed. In this session, we will understand what project planning really means and how project scheduling transforms ideas into timelines. We will explore key components, practical steps to create schedules, dependencies, milestones, tools, and real-world examples to connect theory with practice. By the end, you will clearly understand how structured planning and scheduling turns simple ideas into organized, achievable outcomes. So here's what we will cover in this session. Understanding what project planning is, understanding what project scheduling is, why planning and scheduling are important, key components of a structured project, steps to create a project schedule, tools and techniques used for scheduling, best practices and practical tips, a real-world example of planning and scheduling, identifying key milestones, understanding task dependencies, quick recap of the complete concept. By the end, you will have a clear and practical understanding of how planning and scheduling work together to successfully drive execution. Before we go deeper into the technical concepts, let me share something exciting that can truly elevate your project management career. The PMP certification training by Simplilearn is designed to help you ace the PMP exam on your first attempt while building real-world project management skills. As a premier authorized training partner of PMI, Simplilearn delivers a structured, exam-focused program aligned with the latest PMP exam format and PMBOK standards. In this program, you will receive 35 contact hours of live, instructor-led virtual training, which fulfills the eligibility requirement for the PMP exam. You will also gain access to 12 full-length simulation assessments, 2,000 plus premium practice questions, and a comprehensive exam pass study plan. What makes this program stand out is its focus on both predictive and agile methodologies, along with exclusive masterclasses on generative AI in project management, helping you stay ahead in a rapidly evolving industry. You will receive cheat sheets, exam application assistance, and hands-on exposure to key tools like work breakdown structure creation, Gantt charts, cost estimating techniques, and mathematical scheduling models. This program includes unlimited AI-powered mock interviews with real-time feedback, 24/7 learner support, and access to digital materials from PMI. With over 115,000 learners trained and 40,000 plus ratings averaging 4.4 stars, this program has helped professionals secure roles such as project director, senior project manager, and PMO across top companies like American Express, Wipro, Honeywell, Accenture, and Hewlett-Packard. If you're serious about becoming a globally recognized project management professional, this training gives you the structure, guidance, and confidence to get there. So let's pause for a quick quiz question. Which of the following best describes project scheduling? Is it A, defining project goals, B, identifying resources, C, converting a plan into a timeline with tasks and deadlines, or is it D, hiring new team members? Take a moment to think about it. So project planning is the foundation of any project. It is where you define your goals clearly, what exactly you want to achieve by the end, also where you identify the resources required, whether that includes people's time, budget, or materials. It is where you define deliverables, the final outputs that must be completed. Most importantly, it's where you decide the overall approach you will follow to reach the finish line. Without planning, teams often move forward without clarity. With planning, everyone understands the purpose, direction, and expectations from the very beginning. Let's now move on to what project scheduling is. Did you know that even the best plan can fail if there is no timeline attached to it? Project scheduling is a step where the plan is converted into a structured timeline. It answers practical questions such as, when will each task begin? How long will it take? What comes first and what follows next? Scheduling organizes tasks into a sequence and assigns them specific time frames. It ensures that work progresses step by step instead of happening randomly. In simple terms, planning decides what to do, while scheduling decides when to do it. Let's move on to project scheduling example time. What if we break down a project into specific days to see how scheduling works? For example, between day 2 to day 3, we design the layout. Between day 4 to day 6, we develop the site. And on day 7, we do testing. So this structure shows clear flow of the work. The design must be completed before development begins, and testing happens only after development is finished. By dividing work into days, the team knows exactly what to focus on at each stage. So why are these so important? Why do some projects finish smoothly while the others experience constant delays? That's because planning and scheduling reduce uncertainty. They help avoid confusion, prevent overlapping responsibilities, and minimize last-minute stress. When goals are clearly defined and timelines are realistic, teams can work efficiently. It also improves accountability as each person understands their role and deadlines. Ultimately, planning and scheduling increases the chances of completing the project successfully and on time. So here are some of the key components. There are several key components. Clear objectives that define the purpose of the project. A detailed list of tasks required to achieve those objectives. Allocation of resources such as time, people, and budget. Define deadlines for each task. Assign responsibilities so everyone knows their role. So when these components are properly aligned, the project moves forward in a systematic manner. Let's move on to how to create a project schedule. How do you actually create a schedule that works? Let's list all of the things that need to be completed. Break larger tasks into smaller, manageable activities. Second, determine the correct order of tasks. Some tasks must be completed before others can begin. Third, estimate the duration required for each task realistically. Fourth, assign start and end dates. Finally, allocate responsibilities to specific individuals or teams. This structured approach transforms a broad idea into a clear action plan. Let's move on to the tools and techniques. What if organizing tasks could be made more structured and visual? Various tools can assist in scheduling, such as calendars, timeline charts, and task tracking sheets. These tools help visualize the sequence of work and monitor progress. The key is not complexity but clarity. Even simple tools can effectively track deadlines, responsibilities, and progress when used consistently. Here are some of the best practices and tips. What separates a well-managed project from a poorly managed one? Setting realistic timelines is essential. Overestimating speed often leads to delays. Including a buffer time helps manage unexpected challenges. Regularly reviewing progress ensures that issues are identified. Clear communication keeps everyone aligned and prevents misunderstandings. Consistency in following the schedule is just as important as creating it. Let's move on to some real-world examples. What if we apply planning and scheduling to organizing a workshop? The first step would be to finalize the agenda, clearly defining what topics will be covered. Next, book the venue to secure the location. Then send invites to participants so they are informed in advance. Prepare slides to ensure the content is ready. Finally, conduct the workshop as scheduled. Each step builds upon the previous one. Without planning the agenda, you cannot prepare slides. Without booking the venue, you cannot conduct the workshop. Let's move on to some of the real-world examples. So list your tasks. What is the most practical starting point in any project? Begin by listing all tasks clearly and in detail. Writing down tasks provides clarity and prevents important steps from being overlooked. It also makes it easier to organize them into a timeline and assign responsibilities effectively. So what is the key takeaway? Project planning defines the goals, resources, deliverables, and overall approach. Project scheduling converts the plan into a timeline with specific tasks and deadlines. Key components, milestones, and dependencies along with proper tools all support this process. Together, planning and scheduling create structure, clarity, and direction, turning ideas into organized execution. What if every project you handle from today moved with clarity instead of confusion? That is the power of structured planning and scheduling. Project planning sets the goals, defines deliverables, identifies resources, and establishes the strategy. Project scheduling organizes tasks into timelines, defining the sequence, assigning responsibilities, and setting deadlines. Together, they create structure, and structure creates results. As you continue learning, focus not just on memorizing definitions, but on understanding how each element connects, from listing tasks to defining timelines and tracking milestones. Because successful execution does not happen by chance, it happens by designing. Keep learning, keep structuring, and keep delivering with clarity.